It's just a fanfiction, a story written by me, your writer. This has nothing to do with mentioned idol BTS members' real life event, behavior, or characteristics. Text, sounds, videos which are used in this video are not mine. Credit goes to rightful owners. But the editing and the storyline is mine. Do not copy it. This too short is inspired by one of my favorite shows, Dr. House MD. This is kind of a dark and mature story. Read at your own responsibility. Really, it's a bad thing. He looked at her eyes. In compensation, let me tell you my next move. Let's make you afraid of me. In a second, he cupped her face and took her lips in his. He grabbed her neck to deepen the kiss. He was devouring her lips to his heart's content. His eyes were closed. Few seconds later, he parted from her due to lack of oxygen. Breathing was faster as he was out of breath. After calming himself down, he opened his eyes and looked at her eyes intensely. He was seeking fear, at least guilt in her eyes, but instead he found spark of victory in them. Impulsive, she said with a smirk. You are impulsive. You do things without caring about the consequences, even if it results violence. I could have slapped you because of this action of yours, but still you didn't care. You should feel guilty for kissing another man while being married, Mrs., but instead you were thinking about my behavior. Analyze your own behavior, Mrs., instead of mine. You have committed a sin, Mrs., a big sin. Manipulative. You were manipulating me. Your desire for a married woman even kissed her, but instead of being guilty, you were manipulating me using your actions. What more proof do I need to confirm that you are a psychopath? Taehyung looked at her with amusement. Her body posture radiated she wasn't intimidated by him. Fine then, you win. But what about you? What about you, YN? Don't you think by looking at my eyes you were standing in front of a mirror? Aren't we same then? A lot of things are unknown to you too, and the answer of these questions of yours is one of them. Let's keep it like that. Have a great night, Mr. Taehyung. She got up from her seat, then left from there, not before giving him a victory smirk. Taehyung leaned his back on the bench and closed his eyes. He was again feeling dull ache in his limp leg. He took out the small bottle which he always carries. Then he gulped one of those tablets. Taehyung came home after a long working day, all exhausted. He took out his house keys to open the entrance door, but got shocked seeing YN standing there. Shocked? Now aren't we? What are you doing here? How even you get my address? You didn't break into my bedroom at night, so I came. Are you even listening to yourself? I'm serious, Taehyung. If you enter in my house today, there's no going back, Mrs. You can't regret it. Will you regret it? Will you feel guilty? she asked, looking deep into his eyes. I am not capable of feeling those. As soon as those words left his mouth, he found his lips were captured by her. He knew her desires were mirroring to his own, so he deepened the kiss. Without being apart from her, he clumsily opened the door, then he took her in his arms while locking the door by kicking it with his leg. He took her to his bedroom while stealing kisses from her all the way. Both men and a woman in their late 20s were tangled up under the bed sheets in their suit. Her head was on his broad chest and his hand was wrapped around her bare waist. Both were hugging each other. Ask YN, huh? Aren't you hesitating to ask me something? It's clear in your body posture right now, so ask. Even if it's very personal. From you, I can't hide anything, YN, even if I want to. I can't. Everyone in one point of their life wants to confess their darkness to someone. In my life, that someone is you. So why not make this night more dark by freeing the darkness within me? So ask YN. As long as I remember, the most research shows that a psychopath can be created. A psychopath is always born. It happens due to mutation of genes, and psychopathy is genetics. So, am I the only psychopath in my family or not? If not, then from whom I inherited this? That's your question, right? She nodded. I inherited this from my father. He was much more violated version of me. He was terrific. In his 40s, he became uncontrollable. He started to hear voices in his head. Because of this, mother had to put him in hospital. She used to take me every year to meet him there. You must be thinking how no one knew this news, how no media came across to this big news of a reputed company like Kim Enterprise. Simple answer is money. YN, money. Whenever someone came to know about this, mother fed him with money and told them to zip up their mouth. How this happened to your leg? She asked, pointing towards his limb. His grip around her waist tightened. We psychopaths usually don't feel any emotions, but when we do feel, our emotions become unstable, messed up. We can't control ourselves that time. Same happened with me. When I was 18 or 19, mother took me to meet father as usual, but that day he was begging us to let him go from those 4 white walls of hospital. Obviously, she didn't listen to him as she knew he was trying to manipulate us to continue living his life like past. I don't know what happened, but I saw myself in him. I saw myself begging in front of my child and wife like this. The scene was very, very shameful. I didn't know what happened then. I just got carried away with my extreme emotions. The next thing I know, I was driving my mother's car at high speed while chanting, "I won't be like him." I lost control over the car and got into accident. Unfortunately, I survived, but my leg got a limp. You know, Ryan, even after having a high level of IQ, I don't understand what was my mother's need to bring me into this world. She knew about my father's condition before conceiving me. Still, she let him father her child. If it was just a matter of having a heir, then she could have just adopted a child or find another stable man to bear her biological child. She knew if she had child with my father, then more or less that child would be turned out like my father. From my juvenile days, she used to take me to therapists for my violence, despite knowing there is no cure for my psychopathy. I dread to even ask answer from anyone. What if the answers were too bitter to gulp? What if my father had forced himself on her? I can live with the truth that I am an emotionless monster who can manipulate anyone, but not with the fact never. Next day at morning. Taehyung's sleep got disturbed when sun rays fell on his face. He scratched his arm and patted beside on the bed. But he didn't find anything. He got up and went to washroom to see if she was there. But again he met with an empty room. But before leaving the washroom, he saw his reflection on the mirror. He noticed there was a red mark on his neck. He then went downstairs while calling her, but again he met with an empty apartment. Then realization hit him. She left. She left me. After spending night with me, she left without even telling me. How dare she? How dare she? He grabbed the nearby vase and threw it on the floor, breaking it into pieces. He was about to grab another vase, but his phone rang, so he picked it up as it was from his friend Jimin. What is this, Taehyung? Now what? I was talking to Jungkook and guess what? He said you didn't arrive for your next checkup. Why the hell are you so adamant for my checkups, damn it? Cause right now we are surrounded by new variant of coronavirus and more. So we need to be more careful. So cut your dramas and tell me, have you done the test Jungkook told you? Yeah, I did those damn tests. Good. So today we are going to show your test reports to Jungkook at the afternoon. I am also coming with you, so no more excuses. Yeah, Jimin, I got it. You better be ready till then. I am going to pick you up from your home. Saying this, he cut the call. A smirk appeared on Taehyung's lips. You better be present there, YN. I need my answers. Afternoon at Jungkook's cabin. Taehyung, along with Jimin, entered Jungkook's cabin. It was the free time for Jungkook, so he called Jimin that time. Taehyung saw YN was also sitting on Jungkook's chair. Hey Jungkook, hey YN, finally your friend came. I know, right? YN is here. Everything is alright. Yeah, it's just today was a checkup, that's why. Before they talked about Taehyung, a nurse came and told Jungkook was needed outside, so he went. Jimin also got a call from someone, so he went outside to attend it. Taehyung and YN left alone with each other. Seeing Taehyung, YN smiled at him. Why did you leave? Sorry? Why did you leave today morning without even telling me once? I don't understand. What are you saying? Oh, YN, cut the drama. No one is here except you and me. Oh, you can peacefully tell me why you left me after sleeping with me. You are having a big misunderstanding, mister. How can you even say these things to me? I am a married woman. But that didn't stop you from spending the night with me, digging deep inside me, missus. Get out. I said get out, you bastard. Why would I, Mrs.? Truth hurts. You. Before she could say anything, Jungkook and Jimin came. Jungkook rushed to her side, seeing her taking deep breaths. By her body posture, anyone can detect she was angry. Take this man out. Take this bastard out. Why? Too afraid to spill your little secret, Missus? Shut your traps up. Let's tell your husband how you enjoyed sleeping with me last night. What did you say? He's telling me this from a minute. But you know, right? I can't do anything like this. I was with mom last night. I think there is some misunderstanding. Taehyung let out a soft chuckle. Hearing his chuckle, Vi suddenly got up from her seat to march towards Taehyung, but grabbed her belly. Wine! He held her back to support her. How can you lie so smoothly, bastard? Calm down, Wine, calm down. He's tainting my character and you are telling me to calm down, huh? Just think about the baby, Wine. He placed his hand on her belly. Throughout the time, Taehyung was looking at Wine's eyes, but after hearing Jungkook's, his eyes traveled to Wine's belly, which was a moment ago hidden behind her oversized cardigan. His breath hitched seeing her. Anyone can clearly tell by seeing her baby bump that she was more than 6 months alone. How could this happen? Last night I didn't feel anything. I didn't do anything, Jungkook. I don't even. Her breathing accelerated more. She clasped her baby bump more as she was feeling a dull ache there. I trust you, Wine. Calm down a bit. He made her sit on the chair and called her doctor via phone. The next turn of events were too fast. Doctor coming to check her, Jungkook shouting at him, Jimin taking him out from there while shouting at him. But he didn't care. His mind was stuck on one point. She was 6 months pregnant and all the while. How could this possible? She even denied our last night. What's happening? By habit, he put his hand in his pocket to take out the bottle of pills. He was about to gulp one when it hit him hard. Every time I saw her, she appeared out of nowhere. She always knew how to analyze me. She was not intimidated by me, just how I imagined my woman would be. How did she know the way of my apartment? The red mark on my neck? She wasn't there when I opened my eyes from slumber. Horror took over him. He took a step back. Jimin was still shouting at him. Jimin, what? He irritatedly looked at him. But to his surprise, he saw Taehyung's face, which was full of fear. Fear, which Jimin didn't see in his face even once. Taehyung's hands were shaking. He brought his hand in front of Jimin. He opened his shaking palms and let Jimin see the bottle of tablets. I need help, Jimin. At that moment, Jimin knew how serious his condition was, that he himself was seeking for help. Jimin vowed he would do anything to help his friend. Addiction is deadly, be it for non-living thing or with a person. It will destroy you sooner or later. It doesn't differentiate between poor or rich, smart or dumb. It equally consumes your reality, shatters your future. So, be aware of it and don't get tempted by its venomous pleasure.